Good morning and afternoon. Thank you for joining this webinar titled The Impact of Mobile Devices on Information Security. My name is Cynthia Saul, a Public Relations Manager here at Checkpoint Software, and I will be your presenter for today's webinar. Our original presenter, Juliet Riscala, is unfortunately ill and has lost her voice, but she will be answering your questions online. You can submit your questions at any time using the Q&A window on the right side of the screen, and we will have a Q&A session at the end of the presentation. If you would like to view the presentation in full screen format, click the full screen button. You can toggle back to the previous view by clicking that same button. Thank you again for joining us for our last Security Zone webcast before the holidays. Today we will address the topic of mobile security. In the coming days, you will likely see a lot of predictions for mobile security in 2015, including from Checkpoint. But today, we would like to share what you think about the impact of mobile devices on your security infrastructure. We teamed up with Dimensional Research to survey IT and security professionals like yourselves on key trends and perceptions on the mobile revolution in our corporate environments. This webcast shares the results of the survey performed in October of 2014. With regards to mobile security, what will be your weakest link? Your network, your security policy, your users? Hackers tend to find the weakest link of their targets and leverage it to penetrate networks, steal data, or do operational damages. Whether exploiting a vulnerability in a widely used application, using social engineering on unaware employees, or infecting the network through a device with malware, hackers will find a way to get to a target. So what does the IT security profession think the weakest link is when dealing with mobile devices? Let's review some survey data and find out. A little bit about the survey. Dimensional Research conducted a survey with over 700 IT professionals in 4 countries: the United States, Canada, United Kingdom, Germany, and Australia, New Zealand, with over half of the respondents in North America. The first of our findings is the number of personal devices connecting to corporate networks continues to grow. Not surprisingly, smartphones, tablets, and personal laptops are examples of devices that any employee in a corporation with an open policy will likely bring and use for personal and business purposes and connect to the corporate network. BYOD is part of an IT trend referred to as the consumeration of IT, in which end users insist on interacting with their business and personal applications in their own way, and not dictated by their corporate IT departments. Allowing employees to connect with their own devices to the network brings lots of advantages, enabling users to use various applications, to be more mobile even within the corporate network, to spend more time at work feeling they can also manage their personal affairs, and so on. But what is the risk to that open policy? Is it a bring your own device program or bring your own doom sentence? The corporate network is their network. Being connected is a major part of how we work and how we communicate, and who we are now. That not letting employees be connected at all times to the corporate network can put a company at a competitive disadvantage. And with the explosion of devices available on the market, 91% of this year's survey participants reported an increase in personal devices connecting to their network. In 2015, with new trends of wearables from smartwatches to Fitbits, this number will only continue to increase. An article on Cloud Security International this Monday claimed that a third of European businesses plan to introduce wearable technology to their workspace. However, over 3/4 of businesses in the UK, France, and Germany admit they have no policy for managing the impact of wearables joining their network. Wearables, personal devices, are they more of the same? So the question is not whether to let employees use the corporate network to connect to their personal devices. The question is how to manage these devices to maintain the security posture of your organization. The reality is that just a little more than half of IT professionals surveyed manage these personal devices. This was a 19% increase from last year, but there still is a large gap between the adoption of mobile device technology in corporations and their mobile security strategy, which has not yet caught up. So maybe the security policy is the weakest link as we play catch-up with emerging technology. But is this a real issue for corporations? How big is the fuss after all? And though we see mobile threats in the news on a daily basis, how much are seen in your network? Well, the survey data is clear. More and more incidents are seen on the mobile front, and 80% of security professionals surveyed expect that number of incidents to increase. In 2004, the first mobile threat was born. The Caber worm was targeting Symbian Series 60 phones and was spreading using Bluetooth push control. 10 years later, mobile threats development has accelerated to the point that mobile malware are counted by the thousands on a daily basis in 2014. Our own Checkpoint Malware research team presented at Black Hat this year a piece of research done on the Android unique operating system, Android's operating system architecture that showed the potential capture of data being stored and communicated on Android devices through the binder, a messaging passing mechanism in inter-process communication, or IPC. The research uncovered that as the single point of communication, the binder is a natural target for Android malware. The iOS platform is not immune. A recent malware, WireLurker, affects Apple OS X and iOS, both desktop and mobile platforms. The infection starts through Trojanized and repackaged OS X applications. It then transfers to non-jailbroken devices once connected for synchronization. So, it is no surprise that nearly all survey participants are concerned with mobile security incidents, and mostly with regards to loss of theft of data through mobile devices, and less so how mobile devices can weaken the network for future attacks. Trying to dissect the mobile security issue is not easy. There is a device management piece. Who or what is on the network? What does it do? What data does it interfere with? Then there is the data security piece, the one issue that brings corporations daily to the front page of the news. How can data be secure when transmitting through unsecured mobile devices? There is the personal versus business data and application issue. How can I enable my users and let them use their personal data and apps while protecting the corporate data and workspace? There is a network access issue. Who connects, how, and to what purpose? These challenges are faced by the majority, if not all, IT professionals who feel overwhelmed by the realm of issues mobile devices in corporate environments can bring. But the challenge has to be accepted and dealt with because, one, the cost of remediating security mobile incidents is high and increasing, not only from a monetary perspective, but also from a reputation perspective. How many executives and CEOs resigned this year because of security incidents? I will let you answer these questions, but as a hint, I will tell you that this number is also increasing. And two, the single cost of security incidents from mobile devices can be upward of $250,000, something to consider before deciding to forego a mobile security strategy. In terms of platform, Android wins as the riskiest mobile platform perceived by survey professionals. But again, do not forget WireLurker. The iOS platform is not immune. As a matter of fact, nothing is. So the weakest link in the security policy, is the weakest link in the security policy the platform or just the users? Well, IT security staff has spoken, and employees are perceived as the weakest link. Despite the 2,000 mobile malware a day, despite WireLurker and Droid malware from Droid Dream in 2011 to down APK recently this year, employees can cause more damages with the use of their mobile devices than hackers. And here are the reasons why. Employees are carelessly accessing malicious sites or downloading malicious content, which implies that corporate policy and threat prevention are not usually applied to mobile devices, even while accessing the network. Employees are clueless about security. Employees do not care about following security policies, and they do not want IT to say no. They want to use their mobile devices in their way. Employees lose their devices and corporate data with them. Employees do not regularly update their security on their devices. They rarely do on PC, let alone their mobile devices. Employees change devices all the time. Do you have that new iPhone 6 already? Well, not so new anymore. So for a very large majority of IT professionals, employees are still the main reason security incidents occur and data is lost. If you believe this and you know you cannot avoid having employees connect to your network with their mobile devices, then it is time to devise a mobile security strategy for 2015. A strategy that will, 1, segregate personal data and apps from professional information and workspace, securing the latter, of course. 2, prevent threats from attacking mobile devices by applying the same threat prevention security policy on devices when mobile as on the LAN. And 3, secure the data itself whenever it travels, whomever it is accessed by. Data that has security built in, if you wish. This comprehensive strategy will make your network almost employee-proof to mobile threats in 2015. To get a good start at defining it, take a look at Checkpoint Capsule, our revolutionary mobile security solution. So as parting words, remember 2 things. First, on January 5th, 2015, the number of new mobile devices and wearables connecting to your network will likely in one day jump by 10 to 20%, as these devices are high on the Christmas shopping list. The second thing is, you can do something to control these devices. It starts by calling us and looking into Checkpoint Capsule. Now we can take your questions. Please feel free to send them in the Q&A window. So one question that just came in was, what was the most surprising result in the survey? I think that for us, a lot of it was around the fact that companies do not have security for a number of their mobile devices. They weren't looking at security policies based on the number of devices that were entering the network. So for 2015, we highly encourage companies to look into devising a mobile security strategy that will help protect both personal and business data and devices. Another question that came in was if we have an SDK that application developers can use to integrate with Checkpoint Capsule. I, unfortunately, do not have the answer for that, Oscar, but I will try to find that for you, and your sales representative will be able to answer that question. Another question is, what are the different versions of Capsule? I guess I am unclear of what you mean by different versions, if you're looking for different software versions or if you mean the different sort of components of Capsule. Workspace, we do also have, so Capsule is, the 3 components of Capsule are Capsule Workspace, Capsule Docs, and Capsule Cloud. For more information on all 3 of these, you can email your sales representative, and they can assist you with the different components. Does anyone have any other questions? Another question that just came in is Android has the highest risk. Is this surprising? And I don't think that was surprising on our end. Clearly, Android has a large number of devices that are out on the market today, anywhere from the Samsungs to also other growing areas in the across the world. We actually found that Android devices increased in terms of greatest risk of environments. From 2012, it was at 30%, and then on the slide you saw it went up to 49% in 2013, and 64% this year. iOS was also at 25%, so it's not surprising that mobile risk is everywhere. The next question is around the similar theme. How does Checkpoint rate with Samsung keys and other mobile security? That's unfortunately an answer I can't give, but again, I would email your sales representative, and you can get an answer from them via email. Another question, is it surprising that 25% of companies are not doing BYOD? I also don't think this is terribly surprising, just given the different industries that do have to lock down personal and business data. You'll see a lot of the larger financial services and other companies that need to have separated networks, just given the sensitivity of their data. Now, that being said, again, Capsule is another way to look at mobile security solutions in organizations that do require, separation of personal and business data. A question that came in was around past performance of the solution. Again, our sales representatives can give you history on how Capsule has done. We recently launched Capsule, so they can give you more information on the product and the solution itself. Any other questions? Well, if there are no more questions, thank you very much for attending today. Again, for your reference, this webinar has been recorded and will be available for on-demand viewing on the Checkpoint website later this week. You'll also receive an email in the next few days with a link to the presentation. With any more questions about the survey or Checkpoint Capsule, please feel free to contact us at any time. Thank you for joining, and happy holidays. Have a great rest of 2014.